We're going to look at a couple of laws of exponents. And first, let's just talk about what is an exponent. And an exponent is really just a shortcut way to write repeated multiplication. So let's say I'm multiplying x times itself a certain number of times. Let's say I'm multiplying it n times. Instead of having to write that, so imagine if that was 100 times, we'd have to write that 100 times. We can write in shortcut and say it's x raised to the n power. So I wanted to highlight two things to be careful about when you're finding exponents, and that's with a negative. So when I have parentheses and it says negative 4 squared, that means I'm taking negative 4 and I'm multiplying it by itself 2 times. And you could plug this into your calculator with the parentheses, and what you should get as an answer is a positive 16, because a negative times a negative is positive. In this other one, there's no parentheses, so really I could write this as the number in front of 4 squared is a negative 1, then times that 4 squared. So it's not the 4 that's negative, it's a negative in front. So you basically do the 4 squared first and then add the negative in front of your answer. So this would become a negative, and then 4 squared is 16. So you should check to make sure your calculator gives you that negative answer. Some of them automatically add the parentheses even though you didn't want it to. All right, let's look at a couple of properties. We'll start with these three. Power of one rule basically says that anything raised to the first power is always whatever that number is. Okay, so any real number raised to the first power equals the number. So whatever number that was. So example, 3 to the first power is just going to be 3. We're not going to write that first power because it gets tedious, so you just assume it's there. The other one is the zero power rule, and this says anything to the zero power. So if you went on your calculator and you took 3 to the 0 power, so try that right now, and what you should get on your calculator is 1. So anything to the 0 power is 1. So anything raised to the 0 power equals 1. And when we get to a property down below, I'll explain to you why that's the case. Multiplication rule says as long as your bases are the same, so I have x to the a times x to the b, so I have the same base of x. When you're multiplying, you basically add your exponents. So this would be x to the a plus b. So an example would be x squared times x cubed equals, just add 3 plus 2 and get 5. So when the bases are the same, when you are multiplying, I'm going to abbreviate multiplying, add the exponents.